Hi, Eric Fisher here, Prosper You Styles. Welcome to Style with Knowledge. It's my beautiful model, Maddie. We're gonna give her a great little special occasion hairstyle, something I call the horizontal twist. Nice and easy to do. So in preparation, what we've done is we took a little mousse and just put it around the hairline, and I just took a smoothing brush, one with boar bristles, and I just blew everything really smooth around the hairline, top and the nape area as well, so we have that smooth. Then we took a large curling iron. We just grabbed sections of hair like this, and all we did was we just did some cable curls, just wrapping the hair right around the curling iron. Now, when you're doing long hair dressing, it's always good to get a little texture in the hair. All right, we're gonna begin by just separating the crown out. Now, take it right from the top down to just about the ear area here. Let's just take a clip and clip that hair out of the way. We're gonna start back combing. So when we back comb, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna grab a section of hair, and all you wanna do is just get that so it's nice and tight at the base. And one more section I think should do it. Let's take this section, pull it forward, and just a little bit. Let's drop that down, and you can see the height that we have. So let's take our bobby pins, and we're just gonna take them, and we're just gonna place them vertically right into that crown area. Because we have the back combing there, it's just gonna grip it right in. Put as much in that you know is gonna hold the hair. You can begin to see that we're getting some nice height and lift. So now that looks good. If I wanna go in and adjust that, all I have to do is pull the hair out like that. Okay, now that we've got the crown, we want to take the front and we're just going to twist it back. And this is why I call this the horizontal twist, as these will be done horizontally. So when you do this, sometimes it's fun to leave a little out in the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start twisting right here. Okay, so there I'm twisting. And as I twist, I'm just going to go right back to underneath the crown, so right through here. What we want to do is we want to twist, but we also want to deconstruct. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm just going to deconstruct this line that I've just put in here. I think that looks pretty good right there. And you can always go in, by the way, and do more. So here we are right now. Now we have to pin this, and I'm just going to put it the same way that it's going, and I'm just going to throw some pins in just to make sure everything is really stable. So once again, here we are. I'm going to take my clip out, and we're just going to grab this hair and a few pieces right there. I think that looks really very nice. All we're going to do once again is you're going to grab this and you're just going to twist it. Now you don't want to twist it too tight so you can go in and deconstruct it. So here's our twist. Let's go in and deconstruct. Now again, when we pin, we're just going to go in real vertically, the same way that grows, and just pin these in so it's nice and sturdy. Now because this is a little drape here, because we're getting down towards the bottom, I'm just going to take that pin and I'm going to lift that up right through there. Take another pin and I'm just going to lift that up right through there. I'm going to take this, and again I'm going to go back in the way I came and just pin that really good, because you don't want that to relax and fall out. And then once again, you can readjust that. Because we're getting a lot of hair in here, we're gonna really double pin this to make sure we've got this nice and very, very stable through here. Okay, so there are times when you're gonna have a little hair left over like this. And I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna put the bobby pin on it just like this, and I'm just gonna twist it around, poke it right in there so it just disappears. All right, we're ready for our last piece of hair here. I'm just gonna push your head down a little bit. Let's just take this section and let's just give it a light twist. Let's just bring this up like that, and I'm just gonna grab a bobby pin. All right, there we go. So let's take this little bit right here and let's just twist this out of the way. All right, so all we have to do right now is this little piece right here, and let's take a look. Now, when you look at the final design, you've got to look at the balance. You've got to make sure that the profile looks just as good as the back. I do need some adjustments. I want a little bit more height in the crown. Then I'm going to make my final adjustments here. I'm just going to look and pull out just a little bit more, just making those adjustments, and I think we've got it. Now we're just going to take a light spray, and when you spray, I always spray from at least 12 inches away and spray really, really well. Well, we started with a section from ear to ear. I took the crown, we back combed the crown, and then we just laid it back. We took our pins and pinned the crown in. And we took our right side here and we twisted it all the way back over to the left side. And then we took our left side over here and we twisted it all the way over to the back side. So back and forth, all horizontally. Okay, here you have it. This is Maddie's final look. This is the horizontal twist. Hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Eric Fisher here. Welcome to Style with Knowledge. I'm a Prosper You stylist. I'm going to show you a really great little updo on Bree's hair. Actually, this isn't really an updo. It's half up, half down. Now you can see that we have prepped her hair by curling it. Prep is really important with a style like this. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is separate this from the crown to the ears, and then we're going to back comb the crown and braid the front. All right, before we do the crown, I like to brush the hair out a little bit. Now, you don't have to do this a lot, and you could use your fingers. Sometimes I use just a jumbo comb. These jumbo combs are great. So all I want to do is just separate that curl out a little bit and just break through it, and just to make sure that it's still loose, but it's separated a little bit more than it was. And when I curled Bree's hair, I also used a little hairspray just to give it a little guts. So, all right, now we're going to section the crown out, and because Bree has a lot of short pieces here, we want to make sure we go back far enough. So just taking this section right back behind the ear, make sure we get enough of that hair in the front, and let's just take a clip and just clip that out of the way. Let's do the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. Here's our section. We just want to go right back behind the ear and clip that out of the way. Now we are ready to back comb the crown hair. And we want some height, but we don't want it too perfect. So working about maybe 2 inches down on the crown, maybe one more section right in the center. Now, let's take just a light little spray and spray this just so we can build up, again, a little bit more texture. Keep the spray a fairly good distance away and make sure it looks absolutely perfect. If there's any back combing showing, you kind of want to get rid of the back combing, and so far so good. And pin this in the back. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start right in the center. Now you back comb for fullness, but you also back comb for grit. So when I pull this hair over, I can stick the pins in, and the pins are just going to lock into that back combing just like that. And again, you can always pull this up. You just want to keep this random, soft. You don't want this too perfect. There are times when you want really smooth, perfect hair, and there are times when you want things just a little bit more organic and a little bit more natural. So now let's take a look at what we have here. Separate this out. Let's look at our sides, and we've got a good amount of height there. I like that, but I'm going to go in and I'm just going to pull this out just a little bit more, so I've got a little bit more height. And you can see it's uneven. It's organic looking, just the way that we want it. All right, now, just a little bit of spray. Get it where you want it. So far, so good. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on the right side, and we're just gonna braid that. And when I do this, again, we have lots of little short pieces here, so some of these are just going to stick out, which is just fine. Now, I'm not going to do a lot of brushing through this or combing. I want it to be a little bit more organic and natural looking. There's my first braid. Pick up a section from the front, braid over, pick up a section from the back. Typical French braid, all towards the back area. And I know some of these ends might poke themselves through, and I think that's okay too, because it just makes it look that much more organic looking. And now we have run out of hair, so all we're gonna do is continue that braid right into the back. We're just gonna lightly go through and pancake that. And if you do it too much, you're gonna pull those ends out, so you wanna be kind of cautious about that. Now, I wanna make sure that this does not fall. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna lift that up a little bit, and I'm just gonna put some pins in just to make sure that it's nice and secure. All right, now we're ready to do the other side. So once again, let's start with our braiding, and we're just gonna grab the hair right up at the top. Start with a French braid, grab it in the middle section, and just rotate your fingers around, and then all we're gonna do is add to the outside, and braiding right the way around till we run out of hair. Here we are, and again, I'm just going to braid this right around until I reach the back. You can see these ends are a little layered back here. So let's go ahead and pancake this just really lightly and just pull it apart ever so lightly. Not too much again. You've got layered ends here. You don't want it to fall apart on you. I'm going to pull this around, and I'm just going to set this right here. So we're just in about the same spot as we did the other side. So let's take our bobby pins, and once again, let's just put them in vertically and make sure that you've double pinned everything and nothing's going to fall apart. Okay, now we finished the left side. Let's go over and start working on the back. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take sections of hair and we're gonna pin them into the braid. What we wanna do is just go in and pick up a section of hair like this. Now, I'm gonna take the bobby pin, I'm gonna place the bobby pin right on the hair just like this. And then with my left hand, I'm just gonna twist it around, and then all I'm gonna do is stick it right in to that braid. And you can see it just lifts everything up a little bit. You can do as many of these or as few of these as you like, and that's one of the reasons why pre-curling is so important, so you get that nice spiral shaped curl. And you don't want, you don't want a big blocky curl, you want a spiral shaped curl. Now that we've pinned the back, we just need to finish it up and make sure everything looks absolutely perfect. All right, so we finished pinning the back. I think this looks great. Now we just want to fine tune everything. Take the time to really complete the design. Use your mirror, lift those sections up, and just look at the balance. Spray lightly, and let's lift this up and just spray inside the hair a little bit. So again, you're just going to really work those sections. Make sure that that's looking all very, very nice. So I really like the way she looks right now, but I think that a little hair jewelry would be pretty fantastic too. And I just have some nice, easy little pins with some little decorations on them. And this is your choice, how much or how little you want to do. I like these. I like a little hair jewelry. I think it always looks good. Just looks kind of romantic. It's not a super big deal. And I think we're just about ready to let Bree go out to her evening occasion. We started off by curling the hair. Prep is really important, and when we curled the hair, again, we did cable curls with the curling iron pointing towards the back because we don't want big lumpy hair, right? So everything moving towards the back. We backcombed the crown after we separated it out and just pull it forward, but we backcombed it very organically. So instead of being really smooth, it's a bit more textured. We simply braided the right side right into the back, and then we braided the left side right into the back, and then we just took, with our little technique, we just pulled up random hairs and we just pulled them up and pinned them into the braided area, just to give it a little bit more height and a little bit more fullness. Well, there you have it. I think Bree looks amazing. I appreciate you watching. I will see you soon. Thank you. Prosper You stylist Eric Fisher here with Style with Knowledge. I'm going to show you a nice little bridal braided look that I think is great for a special occasion here, weddings, or just about anything. This is Maddie. Now we're going to start this by separating the hair down the center, and we're going to put a couple of braids on either side, leaving out the perimeter, which we're going to curl. Okay, we're going to start by just sectioning Maddie's hair and straight down the back, just like this. Now I'm just going to comb this hair out of the way, and we're just going to put a clip in there. Okay, now we're ready to start our braid. Now when we do the braid, we're going to leave a lot of the perimeter out. So we're going to take a nice slice right up near the part, drop out this front piece like that, and I'm simply going to do a French braid. We're just going to stick our fingers in like this, and I'm going to take my opposite hand, I'm going to grab the center of that braid, and I'm going to just turn it over like that, and I'm going to take my opposite hand, grab the center, and just turn it over just like that. Now I am ready to add to the outside. So I'm just going to add to the outside edge, again, leaving out some of the perimeter, and then I'm going to again twist that around. I'm going to grab another section right here, and I'm going to add it to the outside edge, and then grab it in the middle with the opposite hand, twist around, and I'm just going to continue on right the way down, keeping the braid not too low, but kind of high near the part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue braiding just for a little bit, and then I'm going to deconstruct my braid. Once again, I'm just going to be pulling it apart like this, and you can see I just want to expand that braid just to make it a little bit more interesting. All right, we're going to put a clip in this for right now, and we're going to come back to this in just a minute. We're going to go in right up here. I am just going to do the same thing we just did on the other side. All right, now we want to make sure that both sides are about the same, and they are, so let's just tighten this up a little bit. Let's braid this just a little bit more through here. There we go, so let's just start deconstructing. All right, now that we've done this, we're ready to combine these two sections. But all you're gonna do, you're gonna take a section, add it to the outside, take a section, add it to the middle, take the other section, add it to the outside. You just wanna braid it all the way down, and then we're just gonna deconstruct this. There you have it. We just put that rubber band in just to keep everything together, a little elastic, and then we're just gonna take that and just pull it through, just like that. So it just kind of goes in together. You can start curling the hair any place you like. So the first thing I'm going to do is just separate some of this out through here, and I'm just going to get it out of the way so that we can curl Maddie's hair. So I'm going to take the hair like this, and I'm just going to wrap the hair right around the curling iron, just like this, and give it a nice little cable curl. Let it heat up. Before you drop it, kind of drop it into your fingers and just let it cool down, and then you can just drop it. And you can see you get a nice, very nice curl. So I clipped some of them out of the way just to kind of help me section the hair a little bit so I can grab my next section. It also allows it just to cool down ever so slightly as well. As I'm working towards the front, I'm just dividing these sections into just a little smaller pieces just to give a little bit more detail to the hairstyle. Again, I'm going to start in the back. I'm just going to take a section and I'm going to comb through a few of these sections. And again, this can be as tight or as loose as you like. So you can let that cool. You can just pin it out of the way. And just putting a curling iron right in there. Now as we move up here, instead of curling this forward, I want to start curling this going backwards. All right, there we go. We've gotten the entire thing. So now what we have to do is we're going to break up the curls, and once we break up the curls, we're just going to fit them into the braid. We're just going to take some dry shampoo spray and just spray what we've done here. Now we're going to take a large tooth comb, and what I want to do now is just break up these curls. So I'm just going to comb through them, you know, with a large tooth comb, not too tight. All I want to do is just break this pattern up so it's a little looser, a little softer, and just drop our braid down right on top of the curls. Okay, so all we're gonna do is we're gonna weave them in. I'm gonna spray really lightly on some of these curls. We're just gonna take some sections from the underneath, and all we're gonna do is we're just gonna bring it through like this. Just keep this really loose and just bring these sections right the way through, and you can see the curls, and you know, some of them you might overlap back into each other. Not too tight, keep it nice and loose. Now let's take a section from the side here, and I'm gonna go through right up through the top through here, pull it up and soften those ends just a little bit, just tuck them in. Just weaving that hair back and forth, and you can begin to see our shape. Let's take this section Just pull it right the way through. Let's bring this again over to this side. So when I get up to the front, I really like to just separate that out. Don't take everything out. Leave some around the face, and you can always pull it back later if the client for any reason doesn't like it. It's totally up to you how you design it, how you decorate this. Again, just pulling everything right through. So you can see the kind of feeling that we're getting, just the interlocking the pieces, soft, it's very, romantic looking, kind of laced in. You can separate these as much as you like. I think we are just about done with both sides. So now we want to balance everything out, make sure everything is perfect. We're going to use a few hairpins to make sure everything is absolutely fantastic. All right, so we finished the bridal braid on Maddie. 2 big French braids, leaving the perimeter out and just putting some random curls in, and then we just take the curls and we just tuck them right back into the braid. Time factor on this is probably 20 minutes. It takes more time to curl it than anything else, but it's soft, sexy, it looks great with a veil. It looks good just down like this. She's ready for homecoming or she's ready to get married, okay? Hey, I want to thank you for watching. Hi, Prosper You stylist Eric Fisher here. Welcome to Style with Knowledge. This is Bree. Now we're going to do a nice little evening look for her. I call it the breeze. And we've prepped her hair with some curls, obviously. So what we've done is we've just taken and we've done some spiral curls with a, about a 1-inch curling iron, making sure that when we curl Bree's hair, we curl everything towards the back, all right? In other words, everything's rolling this way. So we get a nice organic kind of feeling to it. So we're gonna separate out the crown, we're gonna back comb the crown, and then we're gonna put a couple ponytails down here, and this is gonna be very cool. Before we get started, I'm just going to brush Bree's hair out. I've got a really large tooth comb. Sometimes I'll use my fingers, sometimes I'll use this large tooth comb. I want separation. I don't want to use a tight brush, and I certainly don't want to use a boar bristle brush. I just want something that can glide through her hair. Okay, first thing we're going to do is just section the hair out. So let's just go from the top of the crown all the way back to just behind the ear area. Okay, let's go over to this side. We're going to do the same thing. Just kind of section that right the way to the back and put a clip in it and just clip that hair out of your way. All right, so let's go ahead and back comb the crown. I've got a fairly good size section here and I'm just going to lift it forward. So what I want to do is over direct that hair forward when I'm back combing in the crown and just really lightly just push that hair down and grab another section. Holding out of that section, I've got a lot of tension on that hair and just knocking down those little bits and packing it right in, just right at the root area. And then we're gonna go over on this side, grab this section, smooth it out, pull it forward and down, knock those little hairs down. You just want that base to be nice and firm. See how firm that is? Let's smooth this out just a little bit more through here and then drop it down. Looks really, really beautiful. Now we are just ready to pin. All right, we've got this nice and back combed. When I pin, I'm gonna take these bobby pins and I'm just gonna go straight up through like this. So I'm just pulling all this hair over. I want this all pinned right underneath the crown area. You back comb for the height and the fullness, but you also back comb for grip, and that's what we've got going on here. Now, if I wanna go through the crown and just lift it a little bit and mess it up just ever so slightly, I can, and that'll make it look a little bit more organic. I mean, most people want some height, but they don't want it too high. Now let's just take a little spray and use the spray to really, work in your shape. There we go. All right, so we've pinned the crown. Now we're ready to put a couple of little ponytails back here and begin the rest of our updo. Now we could just leave this down if we want to do a half down, half up, but I'm going to show you something else. What I'm going to do is separate this back in two, and I'm just going to grab this section, and I'm going to take a rubber band with a couple of bobby pins on it, and you can see that the rubber band is on the bobby pins. This is the best way to do this. I'm going to stick that through there, and I'm just going to wrap this right the way around until I've really got a good hold of it, and then I'm going to stick the bobby pin right back in. So let's do this side, and there we have the two little ponytails. Don't worry about this, that doesn't matter. And we're just going to take this, separate it into two sections, lift it up so you're elevating the hair, and all we're going to do now is take and we're going to twist. So you can see I'm just twisting right the way back, and now I just want to deconstruct this ever so lightly. So I have a nice romantic little roll here, and I'm just going to bring it right back there. Now that looks good. If it's a little too loose, you can go through it and you can pin it again. I'm going to go back here, back right underneath the crown, and we're going to pin this in. I'm just going to go through it now and just lightly pin in. I like that. Let's just pull down a few pieces right around here so keep that nice and romantic. Now I'm just going to take a light little bit of spray. Both sides do not have to match when it comes to the pieces you leave out. You want that kind of random and organic. Now let's start our twist, and let's just twist all the way to the back. And then once you get back here, what are we going to do? We're going to deconstruct this. And because of the layers in the front with Bree's hair, you want to be careful that you don't deconstruct too much. All right, so let's just put that right back in this area, right through here. Let's take a bobby and let's pin this in. I'm just going to stick it in this way, just like that. Now I'm going to go through and pin the entire section. So lifting that up and just pinning in. Again, let's spray that just a little bit to make sure that that's going to stay in. And there's a lot of different things that you can do for the back, and I'm just going to show you what I consider to be one of the best and one of the easiest. I'm not going to brush through this at all. All I'm going to do is just separate this out just a little bit with my fingers, and we're just going to take this and I'm just twisting this. That's all I'm doing is twisting. Now that I've twisted it, I'm going to deconstruct it. Some people like it really big, and some people like it a little tight here. So there's our section so far. All we're going to do now is we're just going to put this in and just kind of wrap this right the way around. And now we're just going to take our pins and just pin from the underneath right into the hair at the base. Let's take another pin and just really make sure that this is secure. I like to go in, once I've done that, kind of tear it apart, keep those ends nice and loose, and just see what it's looking like, and use your mirror. So far, I think that looks beautiful, romantic. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Let's loosen up these little ends through here. That just makes it look a little bit more romantic. Those little details sometimes are the details that really can make a super big difference. Just those little ends that are left. Now's the time when we're just gonna fine tune this shape a little bit. Look at that profile. Look at the silhouette that you've created. Make sure that it's nice and in balance, and that's what you want. All right, so we finished with the breeze, and just to recap this hairstyle a little bit, we took the crown and we just back combed it up and we smoothed it out. And we just brought it right back into the middle here. We left the sides out, and then we took two little ponytails right in the back in the nape area. We took the sides, we twisted them back, and we anchored it right into behind the crown. Both sides go right back here. We took two little ponytails and we twisted and we deconstructed them a lot. So here is Bree's final look, the breeze. So thanks for watching.